We want to thank our amazing sponsor, the Rope Drop Queen herself, Michelle McKnight. She's a destination specialist with touring plans and can help you plan an amazing vacation. Whether it's Disney, Universal, a cruise, or an all-inclusive, she can help you with booking, planning, and strategizing to help you have an incredible experience at a great rate. Contact her today at michelle@touringplans.com. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Hello, and welcome to a bonus episode of Rope Drop Radio, where we talk all things Kennedy Space Center. That's right. On this recent family vacation, we went to Kennedy Space Center with the kids, and it was a good time. And to do that, we drove out to the coast and we spent 2 nights at the Country Inn and Suites Port Canaveral, which is a hotel that definitely gets recommended a lot for pre or post cruise stays. They have a huge parking lot where you can leave your car and take their shuttle to the port, that sort of thing. However, it was a ghost town because sadly, cruising's not cruising, and we'll talk a little bit about that on the trip report because we went and saw some ships. But we did drive over to Kennedy Space Center one day. You have to pre-purchase your ticket. They only sell so many a day, so you want to make sure it doesn't sell out on you. We did see people at the ticket windows, so I'm not sure if they were able to buy day of, like it wasn't at capacity, or if they were just picking it up because they didn't do print at home. Either is possible. So if you know exactly what day you're going to go, make sure you get online, purchase the tickets, print the tickets. And the cool thing when you went in 2020 was you got a 1-day return ticket for 2021. Now, I don't know how things will work going forward because there are quite a few things not open, but there was definitely plenty for us to be entertained and feel like we got our value out of it. So I have a couple of our junior reporters with us. We have today here Samantha, say hello.
Hello.
And Alden.
Hello.
They both are interested in aerospace, so they thoroughly enjoyed their day there. We got there about 20 minutes early. As we pulled up, what were kind of your first thoughts as you could see it from a distance?
The rockets were very tall.
Wow, such eloquent thoughts. There was a rocket. You could see it from very far away. It was the Atlantis.
The Atlantis isn't a rocket. It's a space shuttle. Come on now.
Sorry, you could see the Atlantis
The boosters. The boosters are huge, right? And they're outside the Atlantis exhibit, which is way in the back, and that's kind of the first thing you see from a distance. They have a very nice entrance plaza. It's $10 to park. They have like the meatball logo out front, but they put an ornament top on it because it was the holidays to make it look like a Christmas ornament. You know, the meatball logo, the NASA logo is called the meatball. That's what the logo is called, in case you were wondering why I called it a meatball. So we got in, we rope dropped. Where did we go first, Alden?
We went to the Atlantis rocket building first because that gets really busy at the end of the day.
Yes, and we saw local astronaut Clayton Anderson in a picture on the winding path up, and then you kind of watch a series of little movies, and then you go in and you finally get to see the Atlantis space shuttle. And what was your first impression of it, Sam?
It's huge. And it looks like it's been to space because it has a whole bunch of charring.
A lot of scarring.
Yes,
yep.
Scarring, charring, same thing. And it's a space shuttle, Alden, not a rocket.
We've established rockets. We've all said this wrong already, haven't we? But that was probably the highlight, just seeing it, seeing how big it is, being up close. Now, we have seen a space shuttle out in L.A. We went to the Science Museum there and saw a different space shuttle. I believe the Endeavour is out there. When we went, it wasn't in its permanent display location, so this was a lot neater to see it displayed. And surrounding it was all kinds of different exhibits about the shuttles, the controls, all kinds of different things, and the International Space Station. What was, other than the actual shuttle itself, Alden, what was one of the neater things you saw in that exhibit? Because it's huge. It's a big chunk of your day.
So there was a big space where you could go into it was the
International Space Station thing and crawl into the controls where you could sit down and fly it.
Yeah,
the simulators.
Yeah, but you could also like see how many buttons there were, and like it was to scale how much they had to deal with.
Lots of buttons, switches, toggles. Sam, what was one of the just looking at the space shuttle things for you?
It wasn't just the lots of buttons. I don't know. It was learning all of the things that go into it, like just like the words, the heat, the just like all the little pieces. Yes, the tile,
the heat shield tile,
the heat shields. That's what I was looking for.
Kind of how that was developed, and the big thing with the exhibit is they talk a lot about how it was the first reusable spacecraft. Right up until then, everything that went up didn't really come back, and what did come back was never reused because the heat shield was a one-time use, all that sort of stuff. So they kind of had to reinvent the wheel when they did a reusable spacecraft with the space shuttle. So that was one of the neat things. You guys also crawled around like an area of the International Space Station. You went down a slide. That was riveting. There was some simulators where you landed the space shuttle on a runway. Alden was pretty good at it. The girls, not so much. Sam will not be landing a space shuttle anytime soon, will you?
I'll get there. I can get there.
Okay, sure she will. Alden, you like zeroed right in and it just landed.
What can I say? I'm goated at flying a space shuttle.
The goat. You heard it there, folks. So after that, we then we got some lunch. Right? There's only one restaurant open. No, we didn't get lunch. We got lunch at some point. How was the food at Kennedy Space Center?
It was definitely not the greatest food, but it was the type of easy stuff. It wasn't too fancy, but it wasn't too
It wasn't trying to be anything other than what it was. It was just burgers and fries, chicken strips, pizza.
They buy it from the same place as Disney.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't too crazy priced. It was theme park food.
Their chocolate milk sucked.
Oh, strong words. Okay. So she did not a fan of the chocolate milk. Then we also saw kind of the memorial wall of people that have passed away while working in the space program. We went to I think it was called NASA Now or Future exhibit that had some of the rovers in it. And so, like the Dragon capsule, what was the highlight in that for you, Alden?
Seeing the Mars rover that they built, that the people built in the
Mars rover. He likes the rover. The Insight?
It's called the Insight, yeah. Yeah, he wants to go into space. It's the Insight.
And you'll help send him to space just so he's off the planet with you someday?
Oh, yes.
Is that your goal, to get rid of your brother by sending him to space? So we also went in the Mars exhibit. Anything? We saw a live presentation in there. How was that?
It basically just was a recruiting program for NASA.
Yeah, that was odd. They're like, we want you. Like, does NASA have a recruiting issue?
I don't think it would. But they're recruiting to a room full of people who have already chosen a career or are too young to ever remember their recruiting, so...
To tourists. They're recruiting tourists. Alden, what did you think of the Mars exhibit?
There was a big Mars vehicle that they would bring to Mars.
Oh, like not a rover like we have now, but one that people would ride in.
Like type of the one that's in Martian.
Yes, like a prototype. So that was cool.
It's still called a rover, though.
Still called a rover because it roves. So, yes, the exhibits were really neat. They have some things geared towards younger kids, things geared towards older kids, things geared towards adults. I thought they did a good job of mixing it up and all the various things. We did not take in the IMAX movie just because of the whole pandemic. But we got that return ticket. The big thing that wasn't going on was the bus tours. The bus tours are a huge part of Kennedy Space Center. So we have that return ticket for anywhere in 2021. Hopefully once those buses get running, we can hop on those and go check it out one day, to sneak away from Disney in 2021 to do that bus tour. And I think that will complete our experience. We also went through the Rocket Garden where they explain things very well. You got the Redstone to a Saturn rocket, so the whole spectrum. Also the Hall of Legends. You watch a little video about astronauts that like almost made me vomit because of the way they have you standing in there. That was intense. I had to look away. But then they have a Hall of Fame where lots of astronauts are in said Hall of Fame. So, any parting thoughts on Kennedy Space Center, guys?
I feel like the Astronaut Hall of Fame should include all astronauts. Just
so,
put
like,
that there.
Any astronaut that's been to space, check Hall of Fame.
Anyone that's been to space and didn't buy their way up there should get to go.
Okay, Alden?
It's definitely the day goes quicker when there's no bus tour.
Yes, the bus tour is a big chunk. So it's nice kind of knowing that when we go back, all we really need to worry about is the bus tour. We don't need to worry about the Atlantis or anything like that. We can just zero in, do the bus tour, and be good to go. So that was our day at Kennedy Space Center. You could definitely drive from Orlando out, do it, and then drive back. You don't have to stay out at the coast. But if you do, there's plenty of options around that area. Could be a great thing to do day before or even after a cruise, especially if you have a rental car or a car to put your luggage in after a cruise. It'd be easy to do after that. So there you go. For Samantha and Alden, I'm Doug, and this has been a bonus episode of Rope Drop Radio.